Martail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear, thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raising, yes!
Hello and welcome. This is EverCast, episode 54, which we titled, oh crud, where is it? I forgot to change it.
No, we really didn't title the episode.
No,
Oh,
Flattus and I came up with something. I just didn't title it. Like I didn't change the name. Like last week, I changed it and it didn't update or something like that. And this week, I just plain old forgot to change it.
It's Big Spender.
Big Spender, because again, one of our topics for the week is talking about paying for the different ways to monetize free-to-play and DLC games. But yes, this is EverCast, episode number 54. EverCast is an EverQuest Next and Landmark themed podcast. Where we connect gamers with the game they play. I am one of your normal hosts, Tamlin. With me to my left is one of our regular hosts, Kylest, and to my... Actually, I guess that's kind of backwards. Anyway, you know these two. They're here all the time.
And he's... yeah.
Pulling
weird Tamlins already.
What's up?
Pulling weird Tamlins already.
Am I? I'm
Yeah.
not muted on my end.
I said weird Tamlins. Not really like muting yourself, but you know.
Doing that Tamlin thing.
Listen, I only got one. It's been a while for me.
Yeah, it's how did the move go?
Good, hectic, crazy, busy. I just got one thing to say.
What's that?
I'm back.
I am drinking out of the big wine glass like Lucy does, because we don't have a Lucy today.
Yeah, Lucy had family issues. Or, well, not even family issues.
It's just family stuff she needed to attend to.
She wanted to. She needed to. Yeah. I'm just drinking my normal diet Pepsi.
I'm drinking Starkyard Oatmeal Stout, just in case.
Oatmeal in a bottle? I thought that was the joke. Was that beer is bread in a can or bread in a bottle?
Yeah, no, Quakers, I don't know. It has flavors of chocolate, roasted oats, and coffee, all derived from especially malts used in brewing products. It's good. It just tastes good.
I am seriously drinking soda out of this glass. And last night it was ice water. While I was doing research on 14th century England.
Yeah.
For fun or profit?
Fun!
Oh, okay.
We've mentioned before that we do different cosplays. One of them involves the SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronism. And yesterday, Kylest went to an event and got to see princes and duchesses and
Totally got hit on by a pirate.
Yeah. Well, come on. Actually, I shouldn't say that. That's my wife.
Totally got him. Yeah, no, that happened. Wait, no, pirates know.
Well, I was gonna say, like pirates will flirt with anybody, but
oh no! Oh no!
Hey, Flattus, do you have a spare room at your place, at your new place?
I do.
I may be looking.
Bro, you're not, like, you don't even have the tower built yet. She can't send you out to the tower. You're Or like the neighbor's couch.
Yeah. So, ECast news.
Whistler, you are in so much shit, mister.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to change the subject as
Nathaniel
quickly
David Rick. Shit.
Anyway, moving on to ECast news. We got a little bit of ECast news. None of it is really landmark related because we're still waiting for the wipe, character wipe and claim wipe that's going to be happening later this month or early May. And that's when they're going to put in a lot of new systems. So we don't have a lot of EQ Next or landmark news. Though, Flattus, when you get the chance to read the latest novel, because you enjoy reading them, right? And you plan on reading it, you just haven't had.
I do. I just haven't had the
Right.
time. I do plan on reading it though.
You should throw in your 2 thoughts on, or your 2 cents, your thoughts on that.
Well.
So, other than that, a couple of quick things. We've all 3 played Heroes, right? Heroes of the Storm, the new Blizzard game. Oh my goodness, they deleted that tweet.
Did they? I just had saw it right before the show. I did not delete that tweet.
Whoa, hold on.
Hold on. It is gone.
It is gone. Oh my goodness,
Bastards!
I should have screen capped it.
Holy crap. Alright, well, guys, just so that he's not crazy, like he made me go look, they had tweeted out on Blitz Heroes that announcement was going to be tomorrow, and it was going to be You Are Not Prepared, which we already know that Illidan's in the game, so it wasn't like they were announcing a new character, but something was going to happen. Maybe it's on... Do you want me to see if it's on the Facebook? I think maybe...
It's definitely deleted from their Twitter account because it is no longer there. We talked a little bit about that show before. That when they released Hearthstone, they released it in an open beta the same year that they did their first BlizzCon Hearthstone tournament. And so Flattus and I were talking that we think that it's going to be their first Heroes of the Storm tournament at BlizzCon. So they're going to announce when the open beta is and talk a little bit about how they're going to do the qualifiers in the tournament leading up to BlizzCon so that they can have their championship at BlizzCon. And that's what we had thought that they were talking about, that they were going to be tweeting out tomorrow, at least, like, start getting that ball rolling towards competitive gameplay in Heroes of the Storm, but they deleted it. So, wow, that's fairly interesting. Sorry, I should have screen capped that.
Huh. So something's afoot.
But that leads us to the other bit of ECast news that we wanted to talk about. We, at the beginning of the year, EverKaya and myself had already made mental preparations. Like, I was going to get the time off and we were going to go to SOE Live. Obviously, that's not happening this year. If you have not gone to the Kickstarter for the Project Fanfare, there's only a week or 2 left for you to be able to do that. If that succeeds, if they are able to pull that off, I will be there. I'm not sure if Kylest is going to be there, but I definitely will be. But there is a big convention that Kylest, and myself will be at this year. We got
the National Cinnamon Festival.
Well, that too.
All right.
But the odds were forever in our favor, and we got BlizzCon tickets. So Kylest and myself will be at BlizzCon this year. So if you are currently planning on going and would like to meet us there, tweet at us, send us an email, whatever.
If you are a watcher of the show and you come to BlizzCon, I will take you out to lunch or coffee or something, and you can sit down and pick my brain and or possibly Tamlin's. I don't volunteer him for social things because surprisingly, this is the most talking he does in an entire
all week long.
So I don't volunteer him for social things.
He's on tribute.
I am no, he is not. I am very serious when I say that this is the most talking he does in a week. He doesn't even talk to me this much in a week.
True.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I talk all the time.
She enjoys talking. I have a word limit per day.
Yeah, it's usually about 10, and it's a fuck you.
Anyway, so unfortunately, like through the circumstance of what happened with SOE being bought out by Daybreak and then canceling SOE Live, we did not make arrangements to go to any other conventions, but that is definitely something that we're looking at for next year, for the convention season in next year, is making it to more of the big conventions, E3 or Comic-Con or something like that. Yeah, that's the other bit of ECast news that Kai and I will be at BlizzCon. And the last bit of ECast news that we have, and this is like, if you have, I don't know where you would have to have had your head buried under to not hear this news, but we like talking a little bit, in our introduction about like geeky things that, like, Harry Potter, Star Trek, all of that, Doctor Who, all of that geeky stuff we like talking about. There's some pretty big geeky news that came out today. One of the details involves video games, and that is that we saw the second teaser for Star Wars Episode 7.
What, and a hell of a teaser it was.
It was like, the first one was just so kind of like, and
like, the big thing was seeing the Millennium Falcon.
And the worst thing about it is that the way they spun the camera with the Millennium Falcon, like, somebody went back through the footage and like stabilized it, and you see that the Millennium Falcon didn't spin at all.
It's the camera.
Yeah, they just spun the camera and made it look so like hard to follow. So this teaser was, well, for one, it was Mark Hamill's voice in his Luke Skywalker voice, and he's in, like, I spent like an hour after watching that teaser listening to all of the different Mark Hamill voices, because he's a voice actor and he has an incredible range. But his Luke Skywalker voice hit me in a geeky little place in my heart that I didn't know existed anymore.
Yeah.
And Kylast is rolling her eyes.
No, because I'm trying to figure out if I should ask you if you listened to his... Oh, I know a more polite way. Did you listen to his Kevin Smith movie voice?
No, what Kevin Smith movie was he in?
James, Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Bob Strikes Back.
Oh, no. See,
I'm knocker!
See, the thing is that, like we've gone over before, like, I have a sense of humor and I love funny movies, but Jane Silent Bob kind of misses my funny bone. It doesn't do much for me.
It's so tiny.
Now who's sleeping on the couch?
Oh,
what, because your funny bone is small? Seriously, your funny bone is small.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I don't mean it like that. I'd keep him chained to the bed if I could.
Ah!
Anyway, yeah, the Star Wars teaser, listening to Mark Hamill do his Luke Skywalker voice was just incredible. It reminded me so much about that franchise, and like, all of my fears over how bad the first three were are totally gone, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing the next one, because I think that it will have better story. I'm sorry, I had to...
You don't even like Star Wars. The fuck? Does that mean you're going to take me to see it?
Yeah.
Alright, I could be a little bit more excited now.
And then, like somebody else in chat already mentioned, Petra Guk. Yes, of course, the other news coming out of the Star Wars celebration this weekend is that Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, is coming out November 15th, I think was the date. But regardless, like, if you look it up, it's sometime in November. The new Star Wars movie will be out sometime around Christmas, and I'm not so excited about Battlefront.
I am, because it's been 10 years since I last played a Battlefront game, which was the last one that came out. And just so people that don't know, It is being created or worked on by the group at EA that does Battlefield. So I'm not sure if it's going to be very. Now I have to give the guys at Battlefield a tip of the hat. I think after playing so many Call of Duty games, it's just become a repetitive cycle of. You get the game, you play through the 3 to 4 hour story, then you do multiplayer and you just slay multiplayer and you level. Where Battlefield's more team and big, like larger maps, 60, 30 versus 30. I think. What did you say this was? 32 versus 32?
No, I think it's 22 or 20. Excuse me, 20 or 24.
I thought it was 24.
24 versus 20. So for like 48 people on the battlefield, you're gonna have flying X-wings. You're gonna be able to fly the Millennium Falcon. I'm a little stoked. I'm just a little worried that it's gonna be a reskin of Battlefield. That's where I'm worried. I hope they take it and do the Battlefield games justice and go back and do that. I think Talon wants more of a Star Wars game, not a first-person shooter.
Yeah, because that's what we talked about before the show when we were talking about the different news. Is that this is basically just a Team Fortress 2 or a not necessarily Call of Duty, but it's a first-person shooter reskin to look like Star Wars. I would more personally rather have seen something more like a Halo, where there's that aspect of the game, but there's a single-player campaign that you can play through that tells a little bit of the story. And I don't know for sure, but that's what I've heard so far, is that Battlefront will not have a first-player experience in it at all. And so it's kind of...
Yeah, Battlefield did. Hardline did. The new one, the cop one, had a single-player element to it, and the multiplayer. I don't remember any of the other Battlefields really having that much. I think they did, but it was just the multiplayer, just in a single-player campaign.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned in chat, and we talked about that too. Yes, make it like PlanetSide 2. And this goes back to like when I first heard about like Dust 514, which is the first-person shooter spin-off of EVE Online. Is that it was sold, and they didn't implement it well, but it was sold as that you would be able to have like the space battles going on overhead in space, and then have like ground-to-ground fighting going on the surface of a planet. And I always thought that would just be absolutely incredible if you could recreate a Battle for Endor type experience, where you've got like the star station orbiting a planet with a shield generator on the planet. So like you've got your space fleets battling out, and then you have your ground forces battling it out, and there's this epic war simulated experience going on. And if they could deliver that type of experience and throw a Star Wars label on top of it, like, you might never get me out of that game.
Yeah. Actually, that sounds like what they wanted to do with EVE and that game that was on PlayStation 3.
Dust 514.
Dust 514.
Yeah, Dust 514.
It didn't take off.
No, and that's the thing, is like they didn't implement it extremely well, but that's the way it was kind of sold. And even like if they could get it something like where they have because they have their Project Valkyrie game that CCP is releasing, so they'll have Dust 514 and Project Valkyrie, which is their fighter simulator, and then they have EVE Online. And if they could find a way to make it so that you have like your big capital ships, and then you have your squadrons of small fighter ships, and then you have your forces on the ground, it's just like somebody needs to make a game like that happen, where you have those different elements all weaved in together with one another. But as it is, Battlefront is not going to be that.
No. I mean, it'll probably do really well, and I want it to do well because I want them to continue to make Battlefront games. Really, really want them to continue to make Battlefront games.
Well, the thing is, I think that with the hype of the Star Wars hype, that game's going to do well, especially when it's got the mouse backing it now. Like the
mouse.
Don't mess with the mouse. The mouse empire is strong.
It's like the Force.
Okay.
What did you? I missed something. What was that? Take me to Disneyland. Just down the street, only a couple hours away.
Right
Or
by
Disney World.
BlizzCon.
We'll go pick up Choing and go to Disney World.
No.
No?
I want to go to Disneyland.
That's right.
Not
You'll be
that
you'll be in
Disney World.
Hey, it's bigger. It's got more
Doesn't mean
things.
It's better.
It's not. It's too easy. Too easy of a joke.
But
Yeah, just too easy. But you'll be in Anaheim, so you could go do Disney. That's what a lot of people I understand do is that they'll
it's right
do.
next. It's across the street or across the
Yeah.
parking lot.
It is. It really is. It's like right freaking there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because one of the conventions that I went to that was a vampire live action role play convention that I went to. It was in it was in, I want to say Burbank. But they put together like these are the buses that we're going to take, and we're going to take some light rail to get from Burbank to Orange County, and we're going to go to Disneyland, and they turned it into a day event. So moving right along, that was a bit it for ECast news. Unless I'm leaving anything out, any last things you guys want to throw out before we move on into the next?
For those playing Final Fantasy or the ones that said that.
Oh, go ahead. If you want to
Little tidbit. If you are playing Final Fantasy, audio listeners or anybody watching the show live, or YouTube, if you're interested in playing the expansion, just to give you a pro tip, you can't instantly walk into the expansion. Like if you're top level already, you actually have to finish the main quest storyline, and it'll lead you into the expansion. So if you haven't finished that yet, and you buy the expansion, don't expect to start right up in. You're gonna go up to Heavensward and start dealing with the 7 dragons that are up there, and you're gonna have to go get your flying mount and stuff. That's not happening. So you gotta go finish do the quests and stuff like that. And if you haven't seen the video of Bismarck the Sky Whale swallowing people, because that's a primal, I would go YouTube Bismarck Sky Whale. All you see is a group about 8 players flying in the sky, and all of a sudden a sky whale just jumps out of the clouds and swallows them. It's pretty boss. It's pretty cool. So if that doesn't get you pumped for an expansion, I don't know what will.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm really stoked.
So, the primary topic that we thought about talking about tonight, and the reason we brought this up is because WoW has had their WoW token. They've had it in game now for 2 weeks or a week and a half, something like that. And we know that EverQuest 2 is a free-to-play game that has the same sort of model. Except you don't have to actually subscribe to it to be able to play. But Warcraft is allowing you to play the game for free as long as you can afford to buy the game token with in-game currency. So I might have butchered explaining that a little bit. Basically what it is...
Want me to get a shot? I can give it a shot.
Flattus, take it away!
Alright, guys. In World of Warcraft, there's this new little WoW token, right? And then what it was supposed to do, it's supposed to do a couple things. One, it's supposed to stop the gold sellers from spamming chat, because they want to find a way of people to be able to kind of buy gold, and a way around that for most games is by having tokens. And WoW did theirs with the WoW token. It is a token that you buy. It allows you to get 1 free month, and it goes right on the marketplace. It sells and it's adjusted an adjusted rate depending on market value, and we're still not sure what that market value is. It
fluctuates.
It fluctuates. So I'm not sure if they're basing it off of what gold is valued at, and I don't know if Blizzard's valuing gold based on what gold sellers are valuing gold at. The token is how much? I've heard different things, like it's $20. I thought it would cost 1 month for $14.99.
No,
is it
$20?
Is it 20?
It really is 20. Yeah.
Holy moly! All right. So this token you can purchase for $20, which now blows my mind even more.
And it's less than 25. It's for the last week. It's averaged between 21 and 26.
Yeah.
I think.
The lowest my friend saw that was 19K. So.
Yeah,
so,
there's a Twitter account now. It's like @WoW token, and they They tweet out every change in market value of like 1.5%, I think is when it is. So you get like maybe 2 or 3 tweets a day if you're worried about being spammed. And if you go to their website, they show the historical tracking data. And I guess for like the economics nerds, this is awesome for them to look at. But it's only interesting to the point that you have to understand that WoW is actually the person that control.
Yep.
They're actually in control.
I will say this. I'm not saying where to buy it or how, but I would say based on a website that I currently just perused, 20,000, we'll say 20,000 gold, 20,000 gold right now is $8.28. So, you know, if you really wanted 20,000 gold, there are ways of getting it. I'm not, listen, that's terms of service stuff. I'm not saying that you should go do that. It's terrible, you know, but $20 for a token. I think $14.99 should have been the cost of the token. That's me, but we'll get to that later. But you can purchase this token. It gives you game time, and right now there's going to be some changes. We're going to get in all this. But it's allowing you to pay for your sub with in-game gold, which is kind of cool. And we're gonna EQ2 does this already with the chrono, and EQ1 and EQ2 both have the chrono. They allow you, but I believe the chrono is, I think what it would cost is, I don't know. I think it's like $14.99 in station
more,
cash.
Hold on, I have the page up right here. No, it's $17.99.
It's 17?
Yeah, I'll throw it up there. I'm not making it up. One chrono,
no,
right?
I believe
$17.99.
I believe you. Which is still a little more reasonable than an extra
$5.
You know, $4.01.
So, but WildStar also has it, and EVE Online also has it. So it's definitely a at this point in time, it is a proven way of making money for people that don't want to pay to play the game, because you're the people that are buying the token and then selling it for in-game gold. Blizzard, Daybreak Games, CCP Games, they're all still getting money for you to be able to play for free, and so they don't care. I mean, do you see why they would? You know, like why doesn't Square Enix do it for Final Fantasy? Because they're getting their money no matter what. I guess it may be a departure too much because it's too much real world economy type stuff in the game, and they want to keep it separate.
They do. They have a cash shop, and they keep that separate. And even then, their cash shop is like way like deep in their website. Like it's kind of like you got to click something, and then it takes you got to log into something to actually get to the shop. So for them, their shop's not like where Blizzard's very fluid with their shop, and you can access it in game. You can access it from their desktop app. You can go online and access the shop, buy things. Final Fantasy or Square Enix with their shop with Final Fantasy, they're very they implemented it and people were kind of like upset, but they've also tried to keep it like they wanted to say, well, it's there if you want to use it. We're not. It's almost like I think they would even drop it if no one bought anything off of it. But I think some people buy certain things that like there was just an Easter event, and like holiday events only have one-time items. Like I got a spooky ghost outfit for my mount, barding for my mount, and you can only get that once. And then later, I'm pretty sure later by October this year, they'll put it up on the thing for like $5. You could buy all the Halloween stuff from last year if you missed it, because they always try to add new things. They don't want to repeat themselves every year because it gets boring.
And that's yeah, it's just, and see, that's like the most recent Twitter conversation I had about this type of thing is that like if I am paying a sub for a game, I want all of the game. I want access to everything, and I really hate the idea of one-time things that later go on the store for cash, because it's like that. It bothers me because I don't have. I'm playing the game. I'm paying for it, but there's still that little bit of the game that I can't have unless I shell out more for it.
All right, listen, I'm all with you with that. Like you'll never catch me. But the thing is, like I've talked to people in game. Like, would you ever go? Like most people are like, I ain't buying it. Like if I missed it, I missed it. That was my fault. But I'm not gonna buy. It's not hindering me. Like, oh, I didn't get the little dress up, art. Like they said if it was a mount that they missed, they would fight Square and say, listen, that mount should be in the game every year. So that's not like something like the Headless Horseman. Damn you RNG gods, because I've yet to get that damn mount.
Right.
Like if I spend enough money, listen, I bought a Sparkle Pony. I got that faster than our Headless Horseman.
Pony. I'm gonna bitch again. Fuck you to all the people, as much as I love you, that have my freaking mount that I want so bad because Refer a Friend is crappy.
Right,
that
and I think we brought that up. Like all of the like, if you've got a mature, established game and you're doing Refer a Friend promotions for it, you really have to. Who does not know about Warcraft? Who like some of these Refer a Friend programs just don't make a lot of sense to me because of that whole, like how much more drive are you really going to find in new players?
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I was looking up the cred. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll talk about WildStar as well, but cred is $20 as well, which I wouldn't buy for the life of me. So.
Right, and so when you were playing WildStar, did you find were you able to earn enough gold in game just playing the game to be able to buy cred to play for free?
At start, when I started playing, the thing that was making the most money was I can't remember the name of it, the profession that allowed you to create housing items, and that was going buck wild. Like people wanted housing, they wanted it. They were like, I want the chairs, and and people were buying. Like that is what made money. So if anybody was gonna get free account stuff, it was gonna be those guys. Now it could have changed since then. I know they revamped a lot of the stuff in that game, which is kind of cool. Like I almost want to go back and check it out, but I don't know. I ain't dropping $15. They threw me a free week, and I may hop in there and see what's going on. But yeah, no, it's different because I had armor. Like I was I did mining and I did armor, and you can clearly tell it since it was such a we've used this term before, gear treadmill. It didn't matter because people were when the game an MMO first starts, people are in that mindset that. It doesn't matter. I need to get to end game, so I need to get there as quickly as possible. And when a game revolves around a gear treadmill, it doesn't matter if I have to pump all the way up to 50 and start creating, and then get my gathering and get my armor crafting all the way up, so I can make the gear that people would actually want to buy. The perps, the Professor Plums or whatever you want to call them, the epics. So. For people to buy, and that's the only way to make gold. Where someone that was like, hey, I'm doing the stuff that I can craft in a house, and I can do that level 10 and level that up pretty quickly, and then those people were making hand over fist money in WildStar, the cash in WildStar. It sucked. It sucked when you saw that, because then everybody was dropping every other thing, and we all have to, and then all of a sudden the market got flooded with couches and lamps and God knows what.
That actually goes with my experience, and we'll bring up another topic, and we'll talk a little bit more about the monetizing games in a minute once we're finished talking about sub tokens. But yes, in my experience from other games that I've played, it is definitely the decorators in the housing market and the people that like to dress up their paper doll character sheet to the specific customized way they want it, that are more willing to throw out money over the other people. And that's going into Guild Wars 2. The rare dies that would drop, people would throw out way more gold for those custom dies than they would for anything else. And that goes to the thing where I'm thinking that bothers me most about the war token that they have is that in this expansion, unlike previous expansion, crafted gear, gear that players make, is not only easier to make, more intuitive to know how to make, but more valuable because it scales with raid tier. It is at your raid level or better than your raid level if you're willing to put in the time to make it. And if you have not as much time, but you have real money, you can quicken that process and have access to that raid gear as quickly as possible. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. My instinct says that no, this is not good for the game, because it really devalues the hardcore raiders. The other part of me that balances out a little bit is the fact that in Warcraft and in other games that I've seen the high tier rating in, gear does not make you a good raider. Gear can't carry you. It'll make things easier, but like if you stand in the bad, you're gonna die. And that's all there is to it. If you don't know where to run, how to run, what spells, to be able to cast and have ready, no matter what rating gear you have, it's not going to make it.
Yeah, and D-Man in chat makes a good argument, and it doesn't stop gold sellers. He's right, it doesn't stop gold sellers, because now Blizzard's taking a cut. Blizzard's now getting extra $5. Think about it real quick. $14.99 is a monthly sub. This token, which gives you a monthly sub, is $20. Now they're making $14.99 a sub plus an extra $5 for 20,000 gold, which at right now is $8.28 on a website that I'm not telling you that you can go find yourself.
Well, yeah, and that's like I've already made the decision. I will never pay to play Warcraft again. I know enough about the game to be able to play for free at this point in time. I can not only pay for my account, I can pay for Kai's account on just my one account. But the funny thing about it is that even though I am now playing for free and Kylest is now playing for free, they're making more money off of me playing than they were beforehand. Because the person that bought the token that allows me to play paid them 20 and I was only paying them 15.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, see, here's the thing. Like, we've talked about that before the show. I said, like, oh, interesting. I have enough money to reactivate my account. I have 100 already. I have plenty of gold. Just on that one tune to buy a token. Actually, I can buy multiple tokens on that one tune, so I have plenty of money. Then I can level up my other tune up to 100. Take me maybe 3 days less if I was being lazy, or more if I was being lazy. And then I'll get my monk, which gets a bonus XP to leveling. I can get him up to 60 in maybe 3 days. Less if I'm being lazy, or more if I'm being lazy. I said it again. And then I have 390s, and I can easily make gold if I just look and see what the top, things are making money in Warcraft. And the next thing you know, I don't have to ever pay for Warcraft again, and I'm easily paying for a game that someone else is easily paying. Like, here's $20, Blizzard, I need 20,000 gold. Which, by the way, yet again, $8.28. I want to remind people, $8.28.
Right, but in my mind, even if I was in a position where I wanted to buy gold, I would always go through an official source over an unofficial website.
And I don't blame you. That's why I said I don't want any. Like, that's why I didn't give out the website. I'm just saying, like,
don't do it, guys.
Don't. It's not worth your account.
Way to get your account hacked. Because even if the transaction looks legitimate, and you get your gold and they take your money, and a month or two down, like, nothing bad happens, it's not in that month or two that bad things happen to your account. It's always like 6 months later or a year later, because they didn't delete your information. They were just waiting for now we're going to hack into everybody's account and wipe everything out and sell your stuff to get the gold to turn around and sell it again. That's the treadmill. So Kylus has been a little bit quiet up to this point, but I know that she has opinions on this because we've kind of disagreed.
I don't see a problem with it. Why is it a big deal? It's nothing that they can do is going to prevent gold sellers. So you either accept the fact that there are gold sellers or dismiss the fact that there are gold sellers. But that's just like saying the sky isn't blue because you don't like that color. It's gonna fucking happen.
You want to know, and that going back to Final Fantasy, that reminded me that you said that no matter what you do, there are going to be gold sellers. The game where I got the most gold selling spam in memory, Final Fantasy.
Oh my god, it was awful.
Like, I thought that was official broadcast from the game. It was happening so frequently. So yeah, I think that no matter what they do, they're going to have to look at it when it becomes so. when they are doing so much gold spamming that it's interfering with your ability to enjoy the game, like they have to look at it as like, not only do we need to start selling gold so that we can eliminate all of the hacked and compromised accounts that are happening in our game, but to improve the customer experience of the people that are actually paying and playing for the game, get rid of the gold sellers, like put them out of business type stuff.
Which doesn't happen clearly because there's a bajillion sites still up, rolling and selling gold. They'll still make their money. They're just going to do it at a cheaper rate.
Right. Well, you just slow it down.
Yeah. You're just like, all right, guys. Well, you three guys are not going to play WoW anymore. Go away. We don't need that much gold anymore. I almost wonder if they are now supplementing. I guess they wouldn't do that by the tokens to sell to get the gold now, because it would be an easy way to get gold. But I guess if they have people playing and farming money, then it doesn't really matter. Especially with the change.
Warcraft is unique in that once you buy the token, it's non-transferable. If you spend real money and buy the token, there are only two things that you can do with it: use it for game time or sell it on the auction house at their price, the price that they've established.
Yep.
So Warcraft really, really locked it down, and that's much different than Chrono in EverQuest 2, because like I looked up at like the restrictions. You can trade it, you can sell it, you can barter for it, you can give it away, and those are all awesome things because it allows it to be more useful. In Warcraft, it's really, really limited.
It's limited. At least I would think they would unlock it so you can at least trade it to, I would think, people on your friends list. I think that would be a little, like, you can, like, or at least buy it and say, would you like to gift this?
That was what I was looking for. Can you gift it? And it's not even account bound. Like, it's soul bound. It's bound to the character that has it. I don't even think you can have it transferred between the different characters.
Yeah, because sometimes you're like, you have a friend that plays, and they're like, something may happen, they're down their luck, and you're like, well, you know what, here's a token, and you enjoy a month on me. I don't, like, that happens sometimes. It happens, and some people do that, like, but you can't do that. You can't say, like, and then,
if you get, because of the, like in guild perks in Warcraft, where the guild earns money as you're playing the game. You're playing the game, you loot a mob and it has a gold on it, and you personally get 1 gold, and your guild gets 1 silver automatically. So when you get like 1,000 people that are all actively playing the game, those high population, high activity guilds, they earn so much money, it's incredible. And I've seen like the bank accounts that these huge guilds have. Like at that point in time, like you could be like, hey, we're going to pay for our raid team. Our raid team no longer has to worry about paying for the game. We're going to use gold money, buy Warcraft tokens, and let them play for free. Our top PvPers that are playing competitively, all of a sudden they're playing for free. And it would just be so much easier if you could just get the tokens and give them away, but you can't. And so it kind of sucks that way. And then one of the other notes that we have in here that I wanted to talk about is EVE Online has the Plex. And that game is brutal and cutthroat. And the fact that you can buy Plex and then lose it by having your ship destroyed is like...
I'd flip tables and throw haymakers at my monitor. I'd be like, ah! Like I'd flip the table over and just start throwing haymakers at the wind.
But I love that about the game because it made like what do you say?
He's a bad man.
The butt puckering moments, right? It's you've got like 5 or 6 Plex in your hold and you're carrying it, and that's like real valued about like $100. You're $100 that you're carrying around in your ship, and you're moving it from one location to another. You got to be thinking to yourself, if you're transporting that much, real worth in a virtual realm, to just be like, oh shit, don't die, don't lose the ship the whole time.
I'd be so pissed.
If you got destroyed
I'd quit. I'd uninstall instantly. I'd be like, right, I'd be like, Windows start button, control panel, uninstall program. Bye. That's it. Game over. Then I'd like, give me my money back. I don't even care. I don't see you. That is
Oh.
Like, I don't even care. That's bullshit. I would so pissed. If it's like if you put a WoW token on the auction house and people could actually bid for it and bid for like 500 gold, and you're like, I spent $20 and I got 500 gold. I guarantee people kick over their computers and cancel their WoW accounts.
Well, right, and that's why I'm like, if you're really interested in buying gold, like you really need to like look at the peaks and the valleys of the buy when it's at the peak.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't.
It's a stock market game at this point. You need buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. Well, the buy low is never going to happen, but the sell high,
Right,
unless it'd be very interesting if they ever put that damn thing on sale. It's like, oh look, it's $5 off, and all of a sudden it's like, oh okay, let me buy one for $14.99 while it's on sale.
All right. So the next little bit that we had about paying for games is the little bit of a controversy that came out for Mortal Kombat 10 or MCX Mortal Kombat X. And I'm gonna look for the picture, but it's basically like if you've ever played any of the Mortal Kombat games, they have finishers, right? Like it's a fighter game, so you're beating each other up, you knock the other guy out, and in Mortal Kombat you have a finishing move where you would like rip out a guy's still beating heart, or rip off their head, or all sorts of like.
It's so gory and bloody and glorious.
So in different ways to monetize that game, they put in that you can buy easy finisher packs. I think it was like $8 for 5, and of course it scaled up more from there. But easy finisher moves. So you get to show off, but you don't actually have to know the button combinations to show off, or you don't have to execute them correctly. It's just easier to get them done. And I don't know, what do you guys think?
I don't give a fuck.
But you like fighting games.
I do.
I love them.
Game
Oh, you have Mortal Kombat 10?
on my phone
Oh.
and my iPad. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like I don't. It's just a game.
No, but,
why are you mad?
But the thing that goes back is like my whole comment from the very get-go is that if I buy a game or if I'm paying a monthly sub, I want the whole game experience at that one price. I don't want to know like, well, this is the cheapest you can get it, but if you pay a little bit more, you unlock all of this extra stuff.
Why don't you ever bitch about that specific problem with EverQuest?
Because EverQuest is a free-to-play game, so if the thing is...
No. It was not free. How much did you pay to play that fucking game?
Which game?
Landmark.
Oh, Landmark? You said EverQuest, not Landmark.
Sorry, Landmark. Sure, it's free to play.
Well, but it will be a free-to-play game. You didn't pay for the game. You paid to get early access into the game.
But then I should have everything that comes with that game. In all the freaking colors.
No, you're losing a little bit there, because it's like Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2, you buy it and you can play it.
$60.
And all of the custom colors, that's the way of monetizing the game after they've sold you that box set, right? So the thing about Mortal Kombat is that once you own it, you should be able to play it. You've got the game. You shouldn't have to pay extra to own all of these other little parts of it.
But being able to kill somebody faster with like a button versus like 2 or 3. What? Oh no!
Why
it
make it
doesn't
difficult?
impact gameplay.
See, the thing is if you reverse the situation though, okay, so right now they frame it to look like this: that you pay money to make the finishing moves easier. Okay, well, why don't you reframe it and say that the easy difficulty is the standard difficulty, and if you don't pay us money, we'll make it harder. Would it feel okay then? If you don't give us money, we'll make it harder.
Don't care.
See, that bothers me.
I'll say this. All right, not Mortal Kombat 10, the Mortal Kombat that came out, the rebranding of Mortal Kombat where they made it cool in 3D and revigorated the genre. They had the easy combo. Like it wasn't like it was just like boop, and then I did a thing. Like I killed people. It was cool. Now it's like they went back to like, oh, people like are like it's too easy, like we want the button combos. Fine, they added the button combos back. But then they're like, oh, how can we get the people that really enjoyed the one button death kill? Hey guys, I have a crazy idea, alright? Listen, what if for $1, right, you get what was it, like 3? You get 3 easy fatalities. $5 gives you 30. What a steal! $5, I got 30 of these damn things? There's gonna be somebody out there who's like, bro, I have to learn button combos and I can kill people? Win. Think about it. But there's going to be people like me who are going to sit down there and just learn the combos anyway and just be like, this is Liu Kang's. Like, I played Mortal Kombat 1 on my console, on my Super NES, and I played the shit out of it. And I knew everybody's fatality. You know what? Once I get Mortal Kombat 10, I'm going to learn everybody's fatality, and it's going to be game over. And then that person that's like, I hit the button, like, you spend your $5, and I don't know who's getting that money, but it's stupid. It's stupid. $60, game over. Like, give me that. Cool. If I gotta pay for DLC for extra characters and stages and maybe story, cool, I'll do it. But don't sit there and come at me with like, you guys want to spend $5 for one button fatality? Get the fuck out of here. One button fatality. Like, for Flattus works for the EA scammer department. I do not like, and like somebody from EA is watching this like, this guy's got great ideas. This guy's great. We don't even have to pay him. This guy's the best scammer ever. No, it's just I get it. Like we live in a gaming world where our iDevices and our phones are what, and our pads and anything that's on the go is really what's people are gaming on a lot these days, because the gaming generation grew up and they're working and they're out and about and they have things to do, and not all of us have some extra time to sit at home on a computer. We do. We still come back home and play, but like if we want to be able to game on the go, and those games are free, and some of those games have charges in them. And I think where we start to fall is that big game companies like EA and I don't want to say Blizzard, but their other half. Activision and some other companies, they look at this and like, we can get a slice of that pie. We know we can get a slice of that pie.
Exactly. And that's like, what it feels like.
Yeah, and like I have Garden Warfare for my PlayStation 4, which is the Plants vs Zombies like Call of Duty sort of like third-person military shooter. All right, and you can play the game and you get these like little coins, and these coins unlock booster packs, right? They look like cards, and they unlock like different zombies and outfits and little things for like when you do 4-player like rush mode and like zombies come out your garden. They unlock like little plants. Now, I can play the game and get these coins, or I can spend money and get these damn coins. See, like I feel like if I drop, I think I got on sale like $40. I dropped $40 during a game. I should just be able to get those damn things for free, right? Like Plants vs Zombies on the phone, you spend what, $3 and I get all the little things for it. And Plants vs Zombies 2 was pay to play, or no, not pay to play. I take that back. It was free to play with the option to buy stuff. I just think it's like, give me more. If you want to charge me for shit in Mortal Kombat, give me Mortal Kombat for free.
Exactly.
Killer Instinct was free on Xbox One, and guess what? You know what you paid for? You paid for, if you want another character, you paid for character. You can pay for character packs and get all the characters. Season 2 is going to add new characters. You can buy those, or you can play them, or they rotate out like a MOBA. I'm okay with that. Same with MOBAs. MOBAs are free. If I want the character, I can buy it. I can wait. I can play the game and get the coins. Mortal Kombat, it feels petty. Like, I don't have to do the 1, 2, 3 button combo, or I don't have to spin the stick around in a circle, hit X. Really? Are you that fucking lazy where you don't have to spin the circle around?
And that, like, Hearthstone is a free-to-play game, and you can play the game to earn the gold and make the cards that you need and buy the booster cards that you need to play at a competitive level. It sucks trying to do it that way because you're relying on a lot of grinding in some cases. Or you can just shell out money and buy the card decks and get the cards that you need to make a deck, right? And so, like, I am okay with spending money to making things more convenient for a free-to-play game, but when you're talking a $60 game from a big-budget studio and selling convenience items like that, it's like, come on. But,
Yeah.
That's my final thoughts on it. I didn't want to spend too much time talking about that particular thing, other than talk about how. I'm done. I'm done. Who's next? Before we change subjects really quick.
I got nothing.
My final thought is don't let people that are dumb enough to pay for the $5 pay for it because they're gonna get their money. If you're learn to play your games, and if you feel like you're being scammed, then don't spend your money. I think we said that plenty of times on this show throughout the year and a half we've been doing it, or almost 2 years now. So just don't spend your money on stupid things.
All right, so the next little bit, this is actually EverQuest's next and Landmark focus. If you follow along with the Landmark official Twitter, they tweeted out that there's big changes to the harvesting system. I will have that link for you here in just a moment in the chat. But basically, they've stripped all of the grind. That's the easiest way to say. They've stripped a lot of the grind out. Your basic building materials like stone, sand, dirt, those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, to build with those materials now, you don't have to have it in your inventory. I need to post this really quick before I say anything more, because what I don't want to do is try to explain to you listening or watching right now. I don't want to explain to you what they're putting into the content patch and misspeak or explain something wrong. So the best thing for you to do is to go to the actual website and look and read over the notes yourself. I think that we talked about it beforehand. We just want to focus a little bit on how we see these changes affecting the gameplay, not what is the official gameplay changes. There, Flattus got it. Okay.
Yeah.
The big thing is, for me, is that when when I'm talking to other people about EverQuest Next and Landmark, and they're telling me, hey, I'm really looking forward to playing EverQuest Next, and I like crafting, and so I want to see the crafting system. I used to be able to say, like, oh, hey, you're interested in the crafting in EverQuest Next? Go play Landmark. Go take a look at it, because the system that is in Landmark is what they're going to have in EverQuest Next, and that's not the case anymore. So now it is that Landmark is like they're starting to branch and diverge to become different games. Combat has already been different. Like, you can see there are elements of the gameplay in combat that are going to be the same, but they're going to be fundamentally different. So you can't really say, if you want to see EverQuest Next combat, go look at Landmark. You just can't. So
yeah.
Now we can't say, go look at Landmark if you want to see crafting. So how do I tell people about EverQuest Next in Landmark anymore? I don't know if I can.
I don't think you can anymore either. I think now it's just... I hate to be the guy that's like, I saw the writing on the wall way when the game started. Like, I really think this is going to be different. And then, because they were really touting, like, really pushing it to be, this is going to be hand in hand. The name changed. This is really going to be, it's its own thing, but it's going to be, like, we're going to test things. All right, cool. And it's like things kept changing, and then slowly, like, it was like they were driving a wedge, slowly but surely, just driving it in between the two things.
And I think that it's sort of out of necessity that they need to do it. I just wish that there was more of EverQuest Next to talk about and to show, because it's they're not related. And listen, we do a show about EverQuest Next and Landmark, and we used to do it because the two were so close together that you could talk about one and be just as much talking about the other, and that's not the case anymore. And that kind of like, well, do we talk about one and not the other because they're radically different now? And it sucks. It puts me personally in a bad position because now I have to keep track of two different things that are from the same source.
Yeah. And the EverQuest Next, other than the ebook, which I have not read yet, other than that, the information mill from that game has been very dry since always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in class it's like sort of like EQ Next Lite, but I don't think we could say that anymore. I don't think. I mean, yes, I think that some features that are going to be tested, yes, I think they're going to be tested in Landmark. Is it going to be the game? But we can't point to it and be like, you want to see something cool? Go look at that, and that's going to be in this game.
Right, and they did say that Landmark was the test bed for EverQuest Next. And they said, that's how the blog starts, right? Is that we tested, the salvaging system is a critical part of our economic plans for EQN, and introducing the system in Landmark provided us with extremely valuable information. And that refinement doesn't need we don't need any more information, so we're taking it out. So it's like, that kind of sucks. It sounds awesome, but it kind of sucks when you're wanting to talk about it with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even like we said, we don't want to give the entire, but to quote one little thing, it's like we want to take a step back, and EQ systems are second to the Landmark systems. So it's clearly they want to make sure that the Landmark systems are flowing and working correctly, and then I mean they want to still kind of use it for a test bed, but it almost seems like they really are trying to start the divergence now, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we'll start seeing more of EverQuest Next. And
well, they also have said, and to be on their side for just a minute, they've already said that after it goes open beta, they're shifting their focus almost everybody on the team onto EverQuest Next, and we know that the claim wipe and the character wipe that are coming up in the next week or two, or in the next 3 weeks, the next 4 weeks, sometime soon, we know that is part of their road to open beta, that they need to have the characters wiped so that they can have it ready for that. So I get it.
Yeah.
My other thought, and this actually goes into the economy of Landmark. I'm a big harvester. I'm a big crafter. I do combat when I feel that it's got a point. In Landmark, I would rather do the crafting and the harvesting in order to earn the economy to buy the patterns that I can't get on my own. In other words, other people go and adventure and they find the patterns, and when they have them, I have something that they want, and we facilitate an exchange. And the crafting system in Landmark, the way that they're making it so basic, that there's no randomness, there's no expertise required to it. There is, you see what you need, you go and get it, you get it quickly because they've made it easier, and you press a button and bam, it's yours. No randomness to it. That diminishes the role of the person that wants to take the time to go and harvest those materials, those rare materials, and diminishes the person that has the expertise on how to get those nice stats, those nice values that on a piece of equipment. And so, sure, they've made the crafting system less grindy by removing the randomness factor, but they haven't made it necessarily more fun.
Tell me when the last time that game is actually fun.
I'm waiting for Lucy to come back because I want to talk a little bit about community building, and I know that she's in a position where she's waiting for the servers to be wiped clean and the new islands to be generated so that they can get a survey of the land and see where they want to build. And I totally agree that I want to get a lay of the land before I decide if I want to build again. But I definitely know I don't want to try building alone. So I think I forgot to mention in ECast News that we were going to make this a short show.
Yeah, I think we forgot to. We're a little over, but it's not too crazy.
No, we go. What are your guys' thoughts on the changes? I know that Kai doesn't have any. Her position is that give me EQ next, give it to me, so that I can evaluate it.
My opinion is actually shifting a little bit with the way Landmark is looking. I don't give a shit about EQing. They're trailing us along. That we've gotten no new news in how long? When was the last time we saw an actual EverQuest Next update of any nature? It's
you meant like game update, like you don't count the novels as an update.
I don't give a shit about the novels. I'll be honest.
But you love people like Illidan and Sylvanas, and I think that you love them not just because of...
I love them because I was in-game and met them in-game and grew an attachment. If I grow an attachment to a character, I will go back and read the novels. But that's not the way that I work. So they need to have the novels available. So if they're counting on you to meet a character that you really like, you just... It captures your attention. If they make that type of character, they need to have that backstory available. And so they're just doing the backstory ahead of time because it projects the world into the future. You have to know where you were to know where you're headed type stuff. Everything I need to know about Illidan is in-game, not in a book. And I have openly complained when they...
I disagree with that.
If you...
Everything I need to... No.
True. That statement is true.
About Illidan.
That he emotes in the raid, you are not prepared. I mean...
I learned in game why he got locked up, how long he was in there, who locked him up. You understand the conversation between him and Maya so much better if you do the quest lines before.
It's a trilogy of books, isn't it? The War of the Ancients? That Illidan and it's not just one book, but it's 3. It's like
Are they good? Are they written very well?
I don't know. I read the Arthas one and was like, Blizzard, no, sorry.
That Arthas one was kind of poopy. So.
Well, in defense of the novel, I had already played Warcraft 3. I had already played the scenario of Warcraft in World of Warcraft. So when I sat down to read about Arthas in novel form, I'm like, wow, that's word to word out of the game. That's word for word out of the game. This is boring. It is. I don't like putting down writers because I know what it takes to put yourself out there as an author, but it just wasn't really interesting, and it was very simply written. I don't know how they managed to call that a novel and charge people money for it.
That game, though.
I'm sorry that I'm being like a party pooper.
No,
in the party.
No, you know what? I'll say this not from my aspect, just because I've talked to other people in the community, and it's not just you. A lot of people are losing steam in the EverQuest Next game. They're losing hope. They don't see anything. They're like, there are other MMOs out there that will show. Listen, show us artwork. Show us some. Like, granted, yes, we could see the keynotes and do that, and we can see that stuff. But like, lore's great. The keynotes thing is great. Like, that's all cool stuff. We can see that stuff. That is something we can go online and look. But show us something we haven't seen. Show us a map. Show us a piece of freaking land that you guys don't like. Kind of want to show us. Like, hey, listen, let's check out this little area that you guys are gonna go into. Because that like, if you it's kind of like breadcrumb trails. Like, you want to start like throwing out like little tiny breadcrumbs. And yes, people could argue like, well, wasn't Landmark like the breadcrumbs? But now that we've got this, now they're like the breadcrumb trail is gonna run dry, unless they start putting out e-novels a lot sooner.
They really do need to up the pace on those. It really depends.
But that's not going to satisfy everybody's need for updates.
It's not, because some people don't read the books.
No, but the people that are that were paying attention to the game back in 2013, what are their expectations? Like, what type of thing? I would love this. We know that they could show gameplay footage because they showed the Tempest at SWA Live 2014. So, and that we've also talked about that one of the things that they could do is talk about their do one class a month And that gives them 2 years worth of classes that they could talk about, 3 years worth of classes that they could talk about. If they just took one class a month and start with the most basic ones and do a development blog about it and do a workshop show, or not a Landmark Live, but a workshop show just talking specifically about, like, you know, this is the class, this is what we were thinking, this is how we wanted to move, this is how we animated it, and here's a tidbit of lore about the class. And you could, like, one a month. And you're right. I think that in that regard, they're really kind of like letting us down in that we crave this type of information. This is simple information that they probably have, like in binders this tall. And it's kind of in a bad position to be in. You know, and the greatest part about it is that, you know, they could be in, like, there are 40 classes. We're going to do one a month for the next 2 years. The rest you'll have to find yourself. And then add that little bit of air of mystery that we know, like, oh, here are 24 classes that we know. We know there are 40. That means that there are 16 classes that no one has yet discovered. So when the game launches, people can, like, race to endgame to start raiding, or they can race to collect all of the classes, or they can race to find those hidden classes. And that's all great, you know, stuff that people push each other and talk to each other about.
I have a comment to make about expectations, because people are like, well, what do you expect? I expect nothing anymore, because expectations leads to disappointment, and too many times my expectations have led to disappointment. So I don't have expectations anymore with that game, except for failure. I'm not going to end on that note. I have positive news that we'll end on when we're ready to. But final thoughts, so we can wrap up the harvesting changes after we've ran off on this little bit of a tangent. I am not a negative Nancy all the time, only part of the time. It's still a really pretty game. I really want to see it succeed. But my desire for the game versus what I think will actually happen, they're not the same. They're not lining up. And the longer it goes with no more information, not good, solid information that I can consume, that I want to consume, that I enjoy consuming, the deeper that wedge goes. So don't take I think it's going to fail, as that's what I want to see, is just that's what I think will happen.
Before I give my final thoughts, I want to answer Zell Matrix. Is this show ever going to focus on Landmark? We are a Landmark / EverQuest Next show, so we focus on both games. Whatever information they put out, we will discuss. Unfortunately, other than the update to crafting changes, it's light. Like, we have an email address, we have a Twitter. If you find news about that we didn't see, tell us. Maybe there's a news source we don't know about. Tell us. We will talk about it on this show. Yeah. Because I will speak for myself, and I won't speak for my other co-hosts. For me, I would not like to sit here for 2 hours and discuss. Look at this build. This is an interesting build. Oh man, look at that technique that guy's using. Because there are plenty of shows that did it. Legendary did it for a solid year, talking about builds and talking to people building. Lucy could probably talk to you one-on-one about how she built things, and there are shows and there are people out there, and there's Landmark Live for all that stuff, and we are just not that show. We are here for news, we are here for entertainment, we are here to break the ice for you guys and laugh, and we have grown over a year. We were very serious at first, and now we're more lighthearted, and for me personally to sit here and say, like, are we going to just focus solely on Landmark would leave us dead in the water. Episode 55 would be our last episode. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying that would be our last episode if we discuss Landmark, and because the following week would be no news.
The funny thing is like a little bit of EverCast history is that we showed up, that we did our first show before SOE Live 2013, before there even was a Landmark. And we wanted to focus specifically on EverQuest Next. We started as an EverQuest Next podcast, and they were like, Landmark! And at the time, all of us were really excited about Landmark and EverQuest Next. And like we had talked about earlier, that those two concepts, those two games, were so close together that you could easily talk about one and the other at the same time, and it didn't make a big deal. Because they even had EverQuest Next in the title it was EverQuest Next Landmark. And that's why we pointed it out as the show started, is that we knew that the games were going to kind of split into two different directions because they kind of had to. One is an MMO RPG and in the traditional sense. And then the other is a building game and an MMO in a different type of experience that's kind of this unexplored genre. And as long as those two were kind of connected and working well with one another, we could easily cover both of them at the same time. And we enjoyed it. Some of us enjoyed building, some of us enjoyed, the lore, and the other thing is that we had no idea that it was going to be 2 years or longer before EverQuest Next was going to come out. And the reason we say that, not because we were totally ignorant, but because we had seen the tweet from Studley that I talked about like a month or two ago that said that you can expect to see something EverQuest Next related in your hands by the end of the year, and that was in 2013, and he was talking about Landmark. So we all got really, really hyped. Whatever, but we're going to keep going talking about what we can. We talk about EverQuest Next when there's news about it. We did a whole 2-hour lore segment last week, not last month, when Flattus gets a chance to read the novel because he's interested in it. We're going to bring it back up and be like, okay, now that you're caught up with the lore, what are your further thoughts?
Yeah, and to let you guys, and I will say this, why we have a little, even though it's a shorter show. Do we have something else to talk about? I guess I can mention it now. I'll just mention it now, unless we have something else to talk about real quick.
But, just the positive, uplifting news that remember that it was supposed to be in ECast news.
Oh yeah. Go for that. Go for that first, and then I'll
okay.
Because it's not bad.
We all met and kind of formed relationships with some of the people that worked at Daybreak when they were taken over, or when Daybreak took, or what happened. They were SOE, now they're Daybreak. There was a good amount of people let off from the company. Included among those were Dave G, Linda Brass Carlson, Felgon, Eric Smith, kind of Tiffy. I can't think of Tiffany's last name at the moment. And we just wanted to give a little bit of an update. Tiffany Spencer. We just wanted to give a little bit of an uplifting update if you don't follow them on Twitter or wherever like we do. Dave Georgeson tweeted it out in response to somebody else, so it didn't show up in his feed, that he is currently working. He's currently working under an NDA, which means he can't talk about what he's working on. But that's really exciting news. If you're a fan of what Dave Georgeson, like all of that, what he brought to the project, that high energy, that drive to want to be involved with it, he is now working on another project. It's just under an NDA. Oh my god, my dog. Brass Linda Carlson announced this week that she was hired on as Director of Community Management for Treon. Treon is the company that produces Rift and Arcade, which means that she's right back into the position that she was in. Now she's working for a different game company, and we think that's awesome. Felgon got hired on. He's working at WildStar as a producer, which means that he is joining Omid because Omid was hired on as the Director of Brand Management for NCSoft. NCSoft is the game company that produces WildStar. Kind of Tiffy is the last one I wanted to throw the update on. Kind of Tiffy she was running a side business that became her principal business when she was let go from Daybreak. And if you follow her on Twitter, they expanded their operations. She took a picture of their printing room. They have 6 laser printers. They're printing out the wood box set for your board games and your card games. And so it's great seeing the people that you formed relationship with, even in a volatile industry like the gaming industry, just get like they're picked right back up and they're continuing to work in the industry. And so just a little bit of uplifting news before we end the show.
I think that's great because
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the reasons that I stick around are the people that I have met and formed relationships with. It is hard to emotionally abandon something when you're emotionally invested in the people that are working with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heroes of the Storm retweeted out their
They did?
They did. They totally did. I'm gonna link it in
Alright,
chat
guys,
real quick.
go look now before deleting it again.
Well, it shows even less this time than it did last time. Illidan is now totally out of the picture, and now it's just a fuzzy blur that says, announcement coming tomorrow.
It had to be something. I think maybe people are like, is Illidan coming? People are like, no, Illidan's in the game right now.
Yeah, Illidan's already in the game, guys.
We're there.
Yeah, light week. Final thoughts before we wrap it up.
I'll say my quick thoughts on the everybody getting a job. It's great to hear everybody. For the people that played WildStar, go check out. They made a lot of changes, and hopefully Felgon does adds to that game because I think it needs it. I think it was great when they started. I think they dropped the ball on some things. I hope they pick it up with that. I'm excited to see what Dave Georgeson does next. I'm super excited for Linda. I think, or Brass, as a lot of people know her. I think that she slid right back into the same job, and she'll do wonders as Brass at Tryon.
And I'm going to throw this out. If you have Facebook, friend request Linda. If you, I'm just going to recommend it because she is extremely available, and I have asked her professional questions and gotten a quick answer. She's incredibly. She's got that dwarven wisdom about her. Even though she puts on a bit of an air about being, the drunken ale lass, she's good at her job.
Yeah.
I love that lady and would absolutely bend over backwards for her and would give my right arm to be related to her.
I will say this. If you're looking at getting into the industry, she would be a great source of knowledge of what it would take, and especially for anything community. If you want to get into any sort of gaming community as your profession, talk to her. She'll tell you what it takes, what you may need to do, what type of stance you may need to have, and it's just great. She's so approachable. Like, she doesn't turn, like, if you message her, it may take. Now, I don't expect a quick response sometimes because she is busy. She does work. She has a life, but. And goats, many goats.
Many goats.
So if you do not get a quick response, then don't worry. She does message you back. It may take a day or so, but I have to say that she is a great follow. And as for everyone else, I am so happy to see them get jobs. And anyone that we don't know, like Higby, I know he left on his own accord, but I think Higby's already maybe doing something else.
There is one of the Planet Side 2 developers that let go.
He went to what's his name? Cliff Blazinski's new project, first-person shooter project. So
no, the Hero Machine. Anyway, I know that there was one of the people that was laid off, and I think he was more on the Planet Side 2 team. And he's on. He picked up right, as soon as he got laid off, and he was working on making his own game. And I follow him on Twitter and catch all the updates, and he sounds like he's really optimistic about his outlook, and that's great.
Yeah. All right. So before we go, I had something to say earlier, but it's not bad, so I didn't want to say it like when we were talking about us. But listen, I would say, and I almost in an EverCast. I'm not saying we're in dire need, but I will say this: without you guys, we have nothing. We will literally be 4 people talking into cameras. Anybody that just shows up and be like, "What's this about?" So we need you.
We've always needed you.
Yeah, we always have, and sometimes you deliver. Sometimes not so much, but we never blamed you. We never said, "Oh no, you guys, you didn't do your job," because you guys don't have jobs to do here. We want to entertain you, but in return, I'm going to ask for help. I want you guys to start emailing us questions, and I want you guys to start emailing us people from Daybreak or people from the community that you may want us to interview or talk to or have on the show, because this show is about you guys. Like, the show's about the community, the show's about the game, and we want to connect with you guys. And in order for us to do that, you gotta start speaking up. We can't just we're not gonna go hunt you down. We can if you want us to, but we're willing to try to get people on here from Daybreak and talk to them. And I mean, we are currently the source for this community and these games, so we would be willing to talk to anybody at SOE. I mean, if we could get Smed here, we would talk to Smed. If we can get Terry, we would talk to Terry. We would talk to anybody, really. We know interview Brass. We could try that. we could of course we could always ask Brass and see if she wants to talk to us about gaming communities and being her job and what it entails and what it takes to bring a community together and her stance on bullying or cyberbullying in games and stuff like that. Of course, we will do that. So see, we can take that and we will use it, and that is a show we can do. So our email is at evercast.show@gmail.com. We're on Twitter. If you have Twitter, please follow us there. Don't be afraid. Like, don't sit there and say, like, well, if I suggest myself, suggest yourself. If you think you have something to add or you're a great builder, like, listen, I may not build great, Lucy does. And if you have something like, hey, listen, if you want to think like, hey, listen, if you want us to do a landmark show, we won't. It's not like we don't want to do a landmark. We'll do one. If you want to give us a reason, like, listen, if you say like, hey, listen, guys, I can come on and talk about like building tips or like make building easy for you guys. I would say let the changes and wipes come first before, because things may change. But you know, and like, we want to support you guys. Like, if you guys are a part of a big guild, like Lucy's a part of one of the biggest guilds in Warcraft, and she's always pushed for the SOE side of things, or now Daybreak side of things. So please, we need you. So let us know. Like, if you want to do it, if you know somebody in the community that would be an interesting talk, we'll do it. And we need you guys to start emailing us. Email us questions. We'll you know, if we get a solid email, of course we'll read it live on the show. We'll discuss it. If we have 10, we'll do 10. I mean, we can do an email show if we get enough of them.
We did that.
So
we did that like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was all feedback, and if we don't get to your feedback right away, it doesn't go into a garbage can. We don't circle order file it. We keep tabs of everybody's feedback so that when we get enough that we can actually talk about it, or if we get feedback one day about this, and then like a month or two later we get more feedback that we feel is related, we can take those two and put them together. So yeah, there is nothing gets forgotten. It's all stored and saved away.
And if you guys got suggestions for us, I know we have our Blogspot website where you guys can go mention stuff there. We have our YouTube, but if you guys think of something better for us, like something easier for us to connect with people, like, I don't know what it takes to get a Reddit page. Maybe we have to get a Reddit/EverCast page, and you guys can It takes nothing. Then we don't need to have a full
create it.
There you go. So if we need to create that,
and I know
have
that. I know that because I created the original Pantheon Rise of the Fallen Reddit.
There you go. So I mean, if we need to create that, we'll use that as a forum. And if you guys want to join it, Reddit, most people have Reddit. Join it. We'll start discussions there. We can maybe that discussion something on there will spur something for a show for us. You know, we can get, you know, maybe try to like push it off to people at Daybreak and like, hey, you should follow our show thing on Reddit and see what's going on over there. And you know, we'll do whatever it takes. But you know, let us know. Like, you know, we're just you know, we're not like we're sailing on the night in the fog or anything over here. We're just, you know, some weeks are going to be drier than others. So if we can fall back and you guys are saying, hey, listen, this is what we want to see you guys discuss, like, listen, by all means, we will discuss it. If you guys want to see us spend 2 hours talking about Play-Doh, I'll sure as hell try to do it. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll sure as hell talk about Play-Doh.
I'll even taste it. Ooh,
yeah,
salty.
Yeah, it's non-toxic. I'll eat a little bit on air. Let's not do that. Let's not set me up to start eating Play-Doh. Let's not do that. I'm going to get 20,000 emails and they're like, Flattus, eat Play-Doh. I'm like, no. I'll be dead. Hate watching the show on YouTube. No live chat. Playing hooky. Like, listen. Oh, by the way, I will say that we understand, like, people want live chat on the screen someplace. We will work on that.
It's been on our
to-do
list.
like a little background. We don't get a lot of times to talk about like what we do in the background of EverCast. So yes, it's on our to-do list. Like I brought, even though I didn't get to use it a whole lot tonight. You know, I do have this.
Why are you so mad?
Why you? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You made a call for it earlier, and I forgot to play because you guys were so deep in that conversation.
It's only a game.
So there you guys go. So we have the soundboard. We have we're 4 characters here. Unfortunately, Lucy cannot be here tonight, but please, even Legendary linked the email and chat. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see what about getting a Reddit page. I mean, if that's something you guys want, we'll do it. If it's easier for you guys, if you don't use Twitter and you use Reddit, you're on Reddit at work. You got Reddit on your phone. You feel like, hey, listen, that's a topic we can talk about. Or here's this video I found about building, and it's using voxels, and I think it's cool, and I think you guys should see it. And I think this is a better game than Landmark. Like, if you see stuff that counteracts what EverQuest Next is doing, we'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. Don't think that we won't talk about other games. We will talk about other games because it's a huge market.
Warcraft.
Yeah, we'll talk. Like, we're only 4 people, and we have lives. So if you see something we may not see, or if there's a piece of news we may not see, or if there's a game that's coming out that may counteract one of the 2 games that we talk about, let us know. So, thank you all for joining us. Even though it says episode 52,
I tried changing it. And
It probably changed. You probably have to refresh the page, and I didn't want to.
No. I tried changing it, but I didn't want to jinx it because I don't know if you followed the Twitter before the show started, but like for a good 30 minutes before the show, like right during the middle of prep time, I tried logging into EverCast on Twitch, and their login server was down. And I'm like, guys, this is a huge problem. They managed to get it straightened out before we went and did the live broadcast, so we got it all taken care of. And then I tried to change the title of the show, and it kept giving me an error, and then it logged me out. And I'm like, I'm not messing with it. I don't.
Just let Austin Malo. The title was Big Spender because we talked about the WoW tokens. So Big Spender. Just to give you guys a tip. So thank you guys so much for this 54 episode. This has been us. The EverCast show. This is Flattus for Kylas and Tanlin. You can listen to us on Stitcher. Thumbs up. By the way, we're on iTunes. I know we did that, and I wasn't here.
Made a big deal out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on iTunes. Things that can help us out. You want to help us out? If you don't want to send emails, do this.